What is up, everybody? Today in Rise of Kingdoms, we are going to be talking about Commander Talent Tree. Now, we have 5 commanders here that are level 60. We are going to discuss them in this part 1 series of the video. As we get more commanders up to level 60, then we will be talking more about the other commanders. So, in this video, you will be seeing commander talent trees and how these are going to be helping you shaping your game to be successful in Rise of Kingdoms. First, we're going to talk about Yi Song-ye, one of my favorite commander here in Rise of Kingdoms. I have used Yi Song-ye multiple times in the battlefield. You have seen it, and you are probably wondering, what talent tree am I using with Yi Song-ye? Now, here we go. We're going to show you my talent tree at level 60. This is the talent tree that I am using for Yi Song-ye. The reason that I have this build this way, where it's full archers, is because I want to maximize my archer buffs. And also, what I realized, when you have the feral nature and you have this clarity, I was doing some battle testing before, and what I realized is that even with the feral nature, I am not able to see the clarity work into an effect where Yi Song-ye first skill is getting buffed. The only report that I saw was El Cid's skill was getting buffed, but it wasn't transitioning up to Yi Song-ye's skill. So I decided that maybe this isn't going to be my option that I want to go to. Rather, I want to go into more of an archer path. Now, you may want to build into the feral nature path, but that is going to be your own playing style. This is my playing style, and this is what works best for me. So, this is my build for Yi Song-ye when I am running full archers. Now, if I'm going to have a mixed troop or a different type of unit because I ran out of archers and I still want to use Yi Song-ye because Yi Song-ye is the only commander that I have really the best. For example, is in KVK Season 1 where I ran out of archers, then I had to have a little bit of a mixed troop on my march. So what I did there, I went to the GG mode, where this is going to be more universal for YSG. Now, you can see that we worked on feral nature here. This is going to be purely skill based because I am not going to have full archer units. These talents are not going to really help us out because of that word contains only archer units. That's the reason why. Now, this is when I am doing a mixed troops. Now, here is an extra talent tree for you. Edward and Tomiris talent tree. If you are going to be working on Edward of Woodstock, you may want this talent tree because I think this is going to be the best talent tree to use for Edward. The reason why is we are limiting Edward from regaining rage. You can see this is a rage regen. We're not giving Edward any of that. Now, you guys are probably wondering, oh, you're showing this on YSG. How does this thing work? Remember, Edward and YSG both have archer and skills. If you are going to go and find Edward here, you can see that there is an archer and skills. So another commander that we're going to talk about is Richard I. One of the commanders that is really most used in Rise of Kingdoms among legendary commanders. This is only on my own statistics. I believe Richard is the most used legendary commander in Rise of Kingdoms. Maybe you would say Minamoto because every pay-to-win player has them, but I think with the free-to-play players combined with every single one of the player base of ROK, I think everyone is pretty much is using a Richard. In the KVK alone, we have seen so many Richards in the battlefield. So this talent tree may help you if you have a Richard I. So this is the talent tree that I have built for Richard I. Now, you have seen some of my battle guides or battle testing with Richard I talent tree. Now, I have built it into this way into a more universal build so that you don't have to keep switching your talents. This is the perfect talent tree the way I pictured it. You are not investing a whole lot into the moving speed since Richard don't have the moving speed anyway, but if you are pairing it with Charles Martel, you may want to consider having a moving speed. But if you are just going to be playing with Richard and other commander, or even with Charles Martel, this would work out very well. Now, the reason why I didn't put anything on the moving speed is because I want Richard to be as tanky as possible. And what we have done is we have invested more onto the defense tree. As you can see, majority of the talents have been spent into the defense tree. Now, I have added here is the Desperate Elegy. The reason why I have added this for this talent tree that I have for Richard, this is going to be my Shinchi Fortitude talent tree. The reason why I did this is because I am going to be fighting into the battlefield until the last drop, or at least at the bare minimum, if I can get away, I will try to get away. But I will deplete my troops down to 30% and below. And then it will start triggering this Desperate Elegy. My whole role for this talent tree is to be a perfect tank. Okay? Now, if you are going to be the Speed Fund tree with Charles Martel, Alexander the Great, they have marching speed, correct? So let's take a look. Alexander the Great here, marching speed, you can see it, plus 30%, and as well as Charles Martel at, where is my Charles Martel? At expertise, you will get some marching speed as well. So this is what we're going to be using if you want some moving speed. It's still going to be tanky because we have the defense tree. But in this one, we have invested more onto, some of the moving speed that is really not going to benefit you when you are standing and holding your ground, fighting short distance. This isn't going to be the best talent tree in my opinion. So here we go. Here is another universal talent tree that I have built. Now for this one, I would say this is going to be more for defending flags. When you are defending flags, structures, this is probably the best option for you. Now, let me just tell you this. If you have put your investment into this talent tree, this is pretty close to the universal one, right? The one that has title universal. You don't have to keep on switching because you're just wasting your talent scroll. But if you want to be more efficient, you should use this one if you are defending the flags. The reason why we are building into this way is because with this Desperate Elegy, you are not going to proc this talent if you are constantly reinforcing that structure. If you can maintain that structure up to 70% and above, and you never even touch 30% and below, this talent is practically useless to you. What we have done in here instead is we have added some of the extra passive buffs so that you can be very efficient in the battlefield. Now we have another legendary commander here, Hannibal Barca. Most pay to wins will be the one that are going to be benefiting from this talent tree, those who have invested on Hannibal Barca. As you can see, we have different talent trees for Hannibal Barca. I have this thing called Field Operator. What this means is that if I am going to be fighting onto the field for a longer time, this is going to be my talent tree. If I'm going out a little bit further from my city, this is going to be the talent tree that I'm going to be using. The reason why is we have this Effortless. During the battle, increases all damage dealt by 2.5% every 10 seconds, up to a maximum of 10%. And also, we have this Close Formation. When the army led by this commander has been reduced to 50% strength, increases the attack by 12%. So what the purpose of this Field Operator is that you're going to operate into the field and you're gonna go 50% below, and then you're going to benefit for the Close Formation. Now, this is more of an open field build and fighting onto the field fighting. Now, you can also use this in rallying. This thing still works onto rallying cities because you're still getting some of this buff in here and also some of the leadership pad in here. Now, what I suggest is, don't do, specific units in here with Hannibal Barca. Never. Always use mixed troops when you are using Hannibal Barca. The reason why I've invested on Hannibal Barca is because from KVK Season 1, I ran out of troops and I ran out of archers. So I had to set up a mixed troops. And our alliance was also running low on archers and we had to figure something out. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and purchase Hannibal Barca, I'm gonna max it out, and we're gonna start sending mixed rallies or mixed troop rallies. So now here's another talent here, hit and run. Some of you guys may have seen it during KVK early stages on this KVK season 2, where K220 was attacking us and I was just doing some hit and run. Now the reason why we built this hit and run is because we have this talent here, Moment of Triumph. While the army led by this commander is at more than 90% strength, increases all damage dealt by 9%. That's whooping 9%. What I do here is I come out from my city. If they're camping outside, I come out, attack, come back in, attack, come back in. I always win that battle report. Another thing that you can do is go into the flag, come out, attack, come back into the flag, and as long as you still have 90% there, that will work very well. What you can do is once you start getting low, you just move your troops back to your home base. If you're parked, relatively close, of course, maybe 1 or 2 cities away, just depending on your situation, you guys need to use this and maximize it by hit and run. Now here is the rally build. If you just want to use Hannibal Barca just for rallying, of course you want to have this Name of the King, because you're going to increase your rally attack in this talent. So I rarely even use this. I think I just built this just for show, to show you guys how it's going to work out with the rally build. But majority of the time I use the field operator more than the hit and run, because this is going to be a little bit more universal as well. What you can actually do here with the field operator is, instead, if you want to just make it a little bit more universal, is to have the Moment of Triumph instead of having the Buckler Shield. The reason why I have the Buckler Shield here is because I'm fighting on the field and I'm definitely going to go down 90%. So that's the reason why. So let's go ahead and talk about 2 of our epic commanders, Herman and Lohar. First, we're going to talk about Herman Archer commander. I want to mention actually a little bit of a memory lane. If you guys have been playing Rise of Kingdoms for a while now, for those veterans that plays this game, if you remember, this hasn't always been called skill. It used to be called disable. And make sure to comment below that you remember, so we know how many people actually remember the changes here in Rise of Kingdoms. So let's go ahead and take a look at the talent here. Now this is my build for Herman. What I've done in here is I focus Herman onto the skills path because I want him to be performing more of the disability. So if I'm sending Herman, I'm just using him to counter. I'm not using him as my main guy. So this is my approach. Now for you, so let's say you are, primarily using Herman and you want Herman to be the best out of everyone, I still suggest this talent tree to be used, because you are still trying to regain that rage, and Herman is a skills commander, and the best way to do this is you can pair it with Boudica if you want to perform more disability, or you can pair it with Kosunoki, which is really good. But when you're pairing it with Kosunoki, I would suggest to move more towards into the Archer path, because then you're going to be focusing on the Archer buff this way, similar to YSG when we are building full archers. Now you can still use this way as well. This is not a bad talent as well, but I just prefer going for the Archer buff. Now here's the key thing here. With YSG, I was using Clarity, and for Herman, we're using Naked Rage. I am actually thinking of changing my YSG and removing Clarity and moving towards the Naked Rage so that we can inflict more skill damage. So that's something that I am still debating what I'm going to do with YSG. I think I'm going to remove Clarity on YSG and add Naked Rage. So that is an option, but for now, I'm showing you guys my current talent trees. Now let's move on to Lohar. Now everyone who is playing Rise of Kingdoms by now, if you are not a new player, you should have Lohar by now and should be maxed out to 60. And if you are a new player, this is a commander that you have to max out to level 60. He is going to be your most useful commander in the game. Now, you may say and disagree that no, Lohar is not the most useful. Now let me tell you this, Lohar is going to be very useful if you are free to play, moderate spender, and pay to win. Look at your account right now. You have Lohar. And look at how many barbarians you've defeated with Lohar. Very useful. I'm not saying that, you should be using Lohar on the battlefield. No, 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 no. You are going to be using Lohar for defeating barbarians and possibly barbarian forts. Okay? So use Lohar as well when you are, defeating neutral units. So if there's some events that come up with the neutral units, you can use Lohar for this. What's great with Lohar is having that peacekeeping talent tree. So here is an updated talent tree that I have for Lohar. I am going to be switching into this talent once I have gems. If you guys have seen my last video, I ran out of gems. I am down on gems currently right now. I haven't topped off yet. I am struggling. I'm just kidding. But it is a struggle when you don't have a gem, so I still need to fund myself into getting more gems at some point. Now, I want you to take a look into this. The key part here, I want you to, when you are building your Lohar in the early stages, because everyone, you pretty much need Lohar. All right, this is going to be your best friend, and you need to work on him. What I did for Lohar and what I suggest for you to do is definitely get the insight first, get the quick study. These two things are crucial for Lohar. And after those two, work on Trophy Hunter so you can start banking those level 1 resource pack C. Another thing that you have to work on is the Rejuvenate so that you can keep on healing with Lohar, right? You're going to increase the Restoration of Rage whenever a skill is used. And also, you need this elixir, so enhanced healing effect received by the troops. And also, once you start healing, you're also going to increase the damage. Now, I have not inputted anything in here. You guys can read the skill. There's a reason why I didn't do this, because there's really no point. When the commander is when the troop led by this commander takes skill damage, and there's about 50% chance that this skill will gain additional 5% skill damage reduction in the next turn. I don't really need this. What I instead put in my liking is to attacking or dealing more damage to barbarians and other neutral units, as you can see here. And also, if you're using Lohar to rally, so if you are, free to play, moderate spender, you still want to start rallying, you can still use Lohar with that and add this mighty force. So if, I want you guys to think about this in a way that don't just let your pay to win do the, barb for rally. If you enjoyed rallying, step up, you can start rallying as well. And this is going to, help you guys out. But you may struggle if you're rallying a high level, structure or a high level barbarian fort with a low tech. So you may struggle there. Now, I mentioned about Lohar has some healing, and you can see this overwhelming force. Healing factor of 450. So hopefully all this talent tree that I've shown you guys will help you succeed Rise of Kingdoms. I am Shinchi42. I am here to help you guys. If you want to see more detail of the talent trees that we have shown in here, connect to my Discord. I have a channel that has talent tree, so you can request some of the talent trees that we have mentioned in here if I have not shown them yet, but I will be posting it there as well. As you can see, you will be able to get it in more details, because right now we're just scrolling through for you guys to see how much we have put into the talent of each commanders. Anyway, I will see you again next time. If you have not subscribed to this channel yet, don't forget to click that subscribe button down there and turn the notification on as well. I will see you again next time. Thank you for watching this video. Maraming salamat. Until next time.